Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about people's lifestyles, where they live, what kind of things they have in their houses, and what they do.
I live in a flat in the centre of town. It's a modern flat and all my furniture is modern. I go out a lot and I drive an old car. Right, tell us something about your lifestyle, Kevin.
Well, I don't have a car, and I don't live in an apartment. I used to live in an apartment when I lived in California, but now I live on a boat, a houseboat, on the river. I don't own the boat. I rent it from a friend. I also go out a lot, and I have a motorbike. What about you, David?
Well, I don't live on a boat, and I don't live in a flat. I don't pay rent, and I don't have a motorbike. I have a house, a modern house, but full of antique furniture, and I drive a sports car. When I was younger, I used to live in a flat, and I used to have a motorbike. Now I have a sports car, but I used to have a motorbike. Used to. I had a motorbike, but not now. Now I live in a house, but I used to live in a flat. Used to. I lived in a flat, but not now.
Kevin lives on a boat, but he used to live in a flat. Where do you live? And where did you used to live?
I live in a small flat in central London near my work, and at weekends I go to the country. I used to live in a 4-bedroom family house in the suburbs.
I live in a 2-bedroom semi-detached house, and I used to live in a large house which I shared with a few other people.
Now I live in a ground floor flat which I'm buying, but I used to live in a council flat that I rented.
I live in a condominium now. I used to live in an apartment.
I live in a 2-story adobe house on the south side of Santa Fe. I used to live in a wooden farmhouse in Ohio when I was a child.
Oh, hello. Come in.
Hi. Nice cave you have here.
Thank you.
Is it yours?
No, we rent it.
We used to live in a cave.
Really?
Yes, but we don't live in a cave anymore. We live in a tower.
It's very nice.
We used to live in a tower, but we moved.
Why?
It was cold.
And it was noisy.
So we came to this cave. It's warm.
And it's quiet.
But it's dark.
And it's wet.
You're right, but we like it, don't we, dear?
Yes, we do.
Julia Marsh has a flat in London. She has left MAP advertising and she wants to move to Germany. She's getting ready to go, but she doesn't know what to do with all the furniture in her flat.
When are you leaving?
Pardon?
When are you leaving for Germany?
I don't know. Oh, James. This is really difficult. I don't know what to do about this flat.
Is it yours? Do you own it?
No, I rent it. But all the furniture's mine.
This typewriter,
What about it?
is it yours?
Yes.
It's wonderful. You don't often see typewriters like that.
I hardly ever use it. But I don't want to sell it. Do you want it?
I'd love it. How much do you want for it?
Oh, don't worry. You can have it.
Thank you.
Hello? Speaking. Mike, hello. I'm fine, thank you. No, I'm not working for MAP anymore. I'm going to Germany, I think. Why? Really? Let me think about it. Bye. Well, well, well.
Julia has an old typewriter. This is what they said about it.
It's wonderful. You don't often see typewriters like that.
I hardly ever use it.
Always. Often. Hardly ever. Never.
Julia talked to someone on the telephone. Who was it?
That was Mike Roberts of International Promotions.
International Promotions?
Yes, I used to work for them before I moved to MAP.
Oh, yes. What did he want?
He offered me some freelance work. He thinks I ought to start my own advertising agency.
Why?
He says there's a lot of work for small independent companies that are
cheap,
good value. I don't know.
What about Germany?
Well, I really want to work abroad. But I'd like to be independent. To be my own boss in my own office?
You don't have an office.
Yes, I do. A desk, a telephone, a typewriter.
Wait a minute, that's my typewriter.
No, it isn't. It's mine. I need it. If you want to use it, you'll have to work for me.
Me work for you?
Will Julia stay in London?
Will James work with her?
We'll have to wait and see.
We're now going to Docklands. That's an area in the east of London along the River Thames, where boats used to come in and dock. In the last century and the first half of this century, the area was very busy. There were lots of ships coming in and lots of work for the people who lived there. But things changed in the 1950s and 60s. The docks closed and industries moved out. Then, in the 1980s, there was another great change. New buildings went up in Docklands and new companies moved in. A man who has seen many of these changes is Terry Ward, who works as a postman in Docklands. Let's hear what Terry thinks of the changes to the area.
The kinds of people and the jobs that they used to do in the last century in the docks were all relevant to Docklands itself and the industries which were joined to it. Today, of course, the people are completely different. And there are a lot of professional people now. Skilled accountants, doctors, lawyers. All of these people don't really fit into the mood of the docks or the tone of the docks. They're the kind of people who would have a townhouse and then would want to get away to the country, somewhere for the countryside. A lot of the flats and houses that have been purchased in the docks, well, at the weekends, they're empty. You don't see them. They're only used during the week when the people are working. Therefore, they don't really constitute a community, because at the weekend, when the social life used to be at its most active, now it tends to sink and go quiet. And an awful lot of the new docks estates and areas are deserted at weekends. and you've got nothing anymore. In fact, it's like a ghost town. Well, what we're looking at now is a section of Millwall Dock, which used to be one of the busiest docks in the world. Here, for instance, in the wasteland before us, there used to be the MacDougall's flour mill, which was world famous. And to keep that supplied, loads of clippers used to come in to where Clippers Quay is now, and they used to maneuver themselves around and go along to the granaries, where they used to unload all their cargoes of grain. That, in turn, was put into storage, and MacDougall used to call upon it when they needed it. Also, further along here was where the timber ships used to come. And that is why where we are standing now is called Timber Wharf. Well, now we have a whole new estate, which is partly privately owned and partly council estate, which is called Timber Wharves. This has only been in existence 5 years at the most. It's only now beginning to fill up completely with people and families. When Docklands was really thriving many years ago, and they used to have whole estates and rows and streets of houses which are all dockers or related industries. All the people lived there. They had a very close-knit community spirit, and they certainly used to make all their own entertainment, an awful lot of it. And they used to organise trips, you know, days down to the seaside and things like that. And it would all be done, and there used to be social clubs, which certain docks used to have their own social club, for instance, where they'd have dances on Saturday nights and things, and various parties for the children, special treats and things. You'll still find in some of the old streets where the dockers used to live many years ago, in those old cottages, you find a better spirit of community than you do in modern flats. It doesn't seem to have a soul anymore, just straight brick and mortar, and that's it. It's lost its spirit.
Docklands looks like an interesting place. I think I'll go there on Saturday.
Good idea. Well, that's all for now, so...
David?
Yes?
We never say goodbye first.
Really?
Well, hardly ever.
OK. You can say goodbye first.
Thank you. After you, Kevin.
No, after you.
No, after you.
No, you go ahead, please.
Goodbye.
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 Hello. Today we look at what we like and what we don't like, and what we like more than other things, our preferences. Natalie likes watching television. What kind of programmes can you see on television?
The European Community's
The news.
is meeting in Brussels to discuss the crisis facing the Irish punt.
Most of them are farmers, but
A documentary.
they can grow very little on this land.
A film.
Or a movie.
A music program.
Does it have a garden?
A cartoon.
Okay.
All right, Lucy, you answer
A game show.
Nick, go with Sandra.
What kind of television programmes do you like?
I like comedy programs and I like documentaries.
I like comedies, and I like documentaries,
and I don't like police dramas.
I like the news occasionally.
Types of programs I don't like, generally speaking, are game shows.
Bushes. How many bushes are there? There are 2.
Natalie likes watching cartoons.
And how many flowers are there? Flowers?
I like watching cartoons too. Natalie likes watching cartoons, and so do I.
Oh, no.
What's on now?
A game show. I don't like game shows.
Nor do I. Natalie likes cartoons. So do I. So do I. She doesn't like game shows.
Oh, no.
Nor do I. Nor do I.
What's this?
It's a game show.
A game show? I don't like game shows.
Nor do I. What's this?
I don't know.
It's a documentary.
I hate documentaries.
What's this?
It's a film.
Okay, I like films.
So do I.
Good.
But I hate this film.
I wonder if Kevin likes watching TV. Kevin? Kevin? Kevin!
Yes?
Do you like watching TV?
Watching TV?
Yes.
No, I'm listening to music.
I said, do you like watching TV?
Oh, do I like watching TV?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay, but I prefer listening to music. I like watching TV. I like watching TV. But I prefer listening to music. I prefer. I like it more. I prefer listening to music.
James Brady still works for MAP Advertising. MAP are moving out of London to new offices in the country. James is talking to Julia Marsh about her plans to form her own advertising agency.
What have you decided to do?
Well, I've thought about it a lot. And I've decided to stay in London and form my own company. Marsh Advertising.
Congratulations.
What about you?
Me?
Are you going to stay at MAP?
Yes. Well, I think so.
I see. You'd prefer to live in the country?
No, of course I'd rather live in London, but I can't.
Yes, you can. You can stay here and work with me.
I prefer working for a bigger company.
You haven't tried working for a small one. Look at these. My business plan for the company. And my first job. It could be our first job. You'd prefer to live in the country?
You'd prefer to live in the country. You would prefer. You'd prefer to live in the country.
I'd rather live in London.
I'd rather live in London. I would rather. I'd rather live in London. James would rather live in London. He'd prefer to live in London than live in the country.
Let's go back to Julia and James. Julia is telling James about her first freelance job.
You remember International Promotions? The company I used to work for?
Yes.
Well, they're organising a big exhibition.
What kind of exhibition?
It's about health and fitness. And they want me to organise the advertising campaign. Imagine, they don't want to work with MAP now that I've left.
Really? Well, that's great.
I have to find out what kind of people are interested in keeping fit. And then I have to find out what kind of TV programmes they enjoy watching. That's for the TV advertising.
Well, I enjoy keeping fit, but I hate watching TV.
Well, you're a big help.
Julia, about this new company of yours.
Yes?
I think I'd like to join you.
But James, you prefer working for big companies.
Yes. No. I prefer working with people I like. And I'm impressed with this.
James, I'm very pleased.
I enjoy keeping fit. I like keeping fit. I enjoy keeping fit. I hate watching TV. I don't like watching TV. I hate watching TV.
Universal Studios in Florida is one of the biggest entertainment parks in the world. It has attractions and rides based on famous movies, like Ghostbusters and Earthquake. We talked to the Tullis family when they visited Universal Studios for the first time. Let's find out what they liked and didn't like.
I think a day at Universal is the best type of family entertainment a family could have.
Right,
all the way
this
down
is the
to-
main entrance. Look. There's the main entrance and there's Ghostbusters.
Okay, we got to go down that 2 blocks.
Yeah.
I really enjoy going on the rides, and I'd heard a lot about them. I'd never been here before, and the rides were exciting, and they lived up to their billing.
Sounds ominous. Hot set.
Please reach forward to the gray bars in front of you, then slowly and gently pull them back towards you. King Kong has escaped and is on the loose. I'm going to turn to the police emergency station and see if I can find out where he is.
Repeat, a full tram.
I think I enjoyed seeing my family enjoy the rides the most and the excitement. And I also enjoyed watching the people.
Well, it's so authentic, you know. You almost have to be sure that you look up, though, to get the total experience.
That's the whole deal, to get you in the mood. I think like the pictures in that...
Like my father, I too enjoyed riding on the rides and seeing the people go by. The lines got tedious after a while, but I still enjoyed. I mean, there's nothing I disliked or hated about the day. I enjoyed it, basically everything.
Winston, look out! Whoa! Ray, 12 o'clock! Whoa!
I'm hungry.
The restaurant was very nice, and I liked the buffet. I disliked how they didn't have the meat of my choice, but I like the rest of the food, and I like the salad bar.
Do you want to try a taste? Thank you, but no thank you.
Tastes good. Tastes very good.
I liked sitting down for lunch and taking a break. It kind of refreshed me, ready for the next ride.
San Francisco, I'm not sure what if it said train station, I would understand a lot better.
Right.
I preferred Earthquake to Ghostbusters. I preferred it primarily because I felt that the visual effects were much more creative and authentic. I loved the sensation of actually going through and watching and imagining what a real earthquake would have been like.
I would much rather go on the rides than watch the movies because the rides are unpredictable.
The rides were incredible, but the best part of the day for me, the thing I liked the most, was sharing the excitement and the enjoyment of the day with my family.
Boy, I'd like to go on some of those rides.
Universal Studios looks like a great place. I love parks like that.
So do I. Well, that's all for today. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today, arrivals and departures. We're going to talk about travelling from one country to another. Travelling by air.
What do you need when you leave your country? What must you have?
Well, you probably need one of these. A passport. Or perhaps an identity card.
And you need one of these. A ticket.
What do you need? What must you have?
You need a passport. You must have a passport.
You need a ticket. You must have a ticket.
Now, what do you have to do when you get to the airport?
Well, first you have to take your ticket and your luggage to the check-in desk.
And what do you have to do at the check-in desk?
You have to check in.
Right. This is a check-in desk. What do you have to do at the check-in desk? What do you have to do?
You have to check in. You must check in. You have to check in.
And what do you have to do when you arrive in a foreign country? You have to go through customs. Carl Schiller is a German businessman and a friend of Julia Marsh. He has just arrived in Britain and he's going through customs.
Sir, would you come here, please? That's all right, sir. You don't need to show me your passport. Where are you traveling from?
Munich in Germany.
And what is the purpose of your visit?
Business.
I see. And what's inside the suitcase?
Oh, normal things, clothes.
That's okay, sir. You don't need to do that. And what about that?
The briefcase?
Yes. Could you open it, please? And what's this? A computer?
Yes, it's a wonderful machine. My company makes them. And look, it works like this.
That's all right, sir. You don't need to give me a demonstration.
Oh, okay.
Just a minute, sir. What's in the shoulder bag?
Oh, the shoulder bag, just my camera.
Could you open it, please?
When Carl offered to show his passport to the customs officer, this is what the customs officer said.
That's all right, sir. You don't need to show me your passport.
You don't need to. It is not necessary.
Carl didn't need to show his passport at customs. Where do you need to show your passport? At immigration.
Passport, please.
What?
Passport. Please show me your passport.
Passport? I don't need a passport.
Everyone needs a passport.
Not me. I'm a bird. Birds don't need passports.
Yes, they do. Look, it's in the book. From the 1st of January, all animals and birds must have passports.
Well, I don't have a passport.
OK, you can't enter the country. You must leave immediately.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Do lions need passports?
No, lions don't need passports.
And what about my friend?
And birds don't need passports either, if they're with lions.
Thank you very much.
There are things you have to do before you leave your country. There are things you have to do when you arrive in the foreign country. There are also things you have to do on the plane. When the plane takes off, you always see this sign. It means you must fasten your seatbelt. When you see this sign, you mustn't smoke. You must not smoke. You mustn't smoke. That means you can't smoke. It's not permitted.
Let's go back to Carl Schiller, who is still at customs.
No, you mustn't do that. Excuse me. You have to unscrew it. Like this.
I see.
Then, of course, you can use this other lens.
Very interesting.
You screw it in like this.
This really isn't necessary, sir. You don't need to show me how it works.
No, really. I want to. Then there's this lens.
Very interesting, sir. But I must get on with my work.
Okay. Goodbye.
Carl had a few problems with customs in England. Now, let's look at customs in the United States. P.T. Wright is a customs officer in Dallas, Texas. What happens to travelers when they arrive in the USA?
There are basically 3 federal agencies that a traveler will encounter. The first is the Immigration and Naturalization Service. The second is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the third is the U.S. Customs Service.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 with you? Okay. Could you open that for me, please?
The declaration form for the U.S. Customs Service is your basic entry document. You complete this, it begins your processing. You define in it the purchases that you made, the places that you visited, the purpose of your visit. If you're coming to the U.S., the purpose of your visit here. If you're a returning resident, the purpose of your visit overseas. You list on it any items that you would purchase in excess of your exemptions. It focuses the individual towards making his declaration to the customs officer on his arrival.
Good afternoon, folks. May I see your passports and declaration?
Certainly.
Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me where you've been, sir?
We've been to England and France.
What was the purpose of your trip?
Partly business and partly pleasure.
What is your business, sir?
I'm in the oil business.
Okay. Yeah, I see you bringing back $500. Can you tell me what you're bringing, Carrie?
Just clothes.
Oh, did Daddy buy you some stuff?
Yes.
Good. Tell me, were you on a farm or a ranch of any kind?
No.
Okay, are you bringing back any food items?
No, sir.
What about any plants, things like that, animals?
No.
Okay.
The U.S. Customs Service requires that you, as a non-citizen, non-returning resident, declare all items that you have in your possession other than personal belongings that you'll be using in your stay. So this would include gifts that you're bringing to people you're visiting.
Are these all gifts?
They are just gifts.
Can you tell me what you have here?
Certainly. That's hat and gloves.
Okay, and what about this one?
Small handbag.
Okay, and this one here?
A child drawing book.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it, okay? This is all your own personal clothing?
Yes, it is.
And what is this here?
That's some duty-free perfume that I bought back at London Gatwick. I don't have to declare that, though, do I?
Is it for personal use or is it a gift?
It's a gift.
I'm afraid so, yes. Did you not include it in your exemption here?
No, I didn't.
How much did you pay for it?
£25.
Yes, I'm afraid that you'll have to include it in your declaration because it's only duty-free from the country that you're buying it in, not from the country that you're bringing it into. If you haven't added it to your declaration, you'll have to add it onto it, okay? I want to do that right now.
Visitors to the United States may acquire specific pamphlets printed by the U.S. Customs Service and distributed worldwide. These pamphlets that traditionally carry the name Tips for Visitors or Customs Hints for Non-Residents, and they should ask for that pamphlet from whoever is helping arrange their travel. That pamphlet will be very explicit in what the traveler must do prior to his entry and what he should do, and then it will even enumerate the specific items that he cannot and should not bring to this country.
That was P.T. Wright of the U.S. Customs Service.
Today we've talked about arrivals and departures.
And we've talked about things you have to do.
Things you don't need to do.
And things you mustn't do. And that's the end of the programme.
We must go.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello.
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 Today's programme is about buying and selling, and importing and exporting.
That's buying and selling.
Between different countries.
Importing and exporting. For Britain, this car is an export. And for Britain, this car is an import.
Good morning, madam. Welcome to Harry's Cars. How can I help you?
I want to buy a car.
Well, you've come to the right place. We have cars from all over the world. What would you like? A Japanese car? A Spanish car? Or this one? The best car in the showroom. It's a world car.
A world car?
Yes, every part of this car is made in a different country. The engine is made in Germany, the controls are made in Japan, the tyres are made in France, the windows are made in Spain.
What's made in Britain?
Ah, these.
The engine is made in Germany. They make the engine in Germany. The engine is made in Germany.
What kind of things do you buy? Are they made in your country or are they imported?
I have a bicycle that is made in Taiwan, a car that is made in Japan, a Mazda.
I have a guitar that came from Spain, made by the Ramirez brothers. I have a saddle that came from Australia.
I have a Marin mountain bike, which comes from America, and a Sony Walkman, which comes from Japan.
I have discovered among our artifacts an old chest of my great-great-grandmother, which was originally imported from England back in the 1850s.
I have Greek urns. I also have Japanese clothes and a grass skirt all the way from Hawaii.
This is my new computer. It's a portable computer. You can carry it easily. It's made in Japan. The factory makes about 1,000 computers like this every month. Most of them are exported. About 300 a month are sold in Britain. Hardly any are sold in Japan. So, the hardware, the computer, is made in Japan. But the software comes from California. This is a business program. A lot of software is developed in California, and it's sold all over the world. Most of the computers are exported. They export most of the computers. Most of the computers are exported. A lot of software is developed in California. A lot of software is developed in California.
Carl Schiller works for a computer company in Germany. He's in London at the moment to talk to Julia Marsh and James Brady.
So, Carl, why are you here?
I'm here to talk about a new business project.
What kind of project?
We're developing a new computer for children to use at home.
But surely lots of computers are made for children. And several of them are made for home use. How is your computer different?
In two ways. First, we're developing a better voice activation system.
A what? What does voice activation mean?
I'm sorry. Look at this computer. This one doesn't have a voice activation system. In order to use it, you have to read the screen, then type your answer. China. History, yes. But the new computer speaks to the child. It asks a question and the child answers by speaking to the computer.
And the other difference?
It's educational. Nearly all the computers that are sold to children are for games. Hardly any are made to help children with their studies.
But yours will?
Yes, because we're developing special software, study programs.
I see. You're developing the software in order to sell the hardware.
Yes, you could say that.
It sounds very interesting.
But it is, and maybe you two can help me.
How?
We need an advertising agency here, in Britain.
You mean you want us to advertise your computer?
Yes.
Do you realize that we're a very small company?
Yes, so you must work for me to get bigger. What do you think?
Yes, Carl. We'd love to.
I'm here to talk about a new business project.
To talk about a new business project. Carl is here because he wants to talk about a new business project. To, or in order to.
You're developing the software in order to sell the hardware.
In order to sell the hardware. In order to. Or just to. It means the same thing.
There's an English sports car called a Morgan. The Morgan factory is not like most car factories. It's a traditional factory, and it's very small. It only has about 100 workers. The company was started by Harry Morgan. Today, his grandson, Charles Morgan, is the production manager at the factory. He explains how Morgan cars are made.
The Morgan is built using a technique which we call coach building. Coach building was very popular in the 1920s. And in fact, all the best cars in the world were always coach built. And what that means is that rather like in the olden days, with coaches being built out of a wood frame and metal panels, we still build the car that way. We start with the ash tree and we make a frame, and we then cover it in either steel or aluminium. The car is constructed with a steel chassis, and the engine and the driveline and the gearbox and the back axle is assembled into the chassis. We put the engine in the center of the chassis in order to give the car balance. The car, once it's finished as a chassis, has a ticket put on it with the customer's name on it. And even at this stage, when the car is only 2 or 3 days old, the customer can see his particular car going through our factory. The wood frame is assembled out of many, many different what we call body rails. And the skill of assembling the wood frame is to make sure that each joint is treated as a very important part of the overall picture of the car. To that end, the joints are glued and screwed together. There are 76 different pieces of wood, and most of them have a joint both ends. The Morgan is built out of a combination of parts which we obtain from external suppliers and parts that we manufacture ourselves. We manufacture many of the major components ourselves because we want to give the car its particular character. The metal parts are made out of a flat sheet of metal in every case. We make, for example, the fuel tank of the car. We make the radiator of the car. At the final assembly stage, the various items are fitted to the car, like the heater, like the computer box that runs the engine, like all the electrical equipment that makes up the dashboard. Morgans are exported to virtually all the civilized countries in the world at one time or other. We have agents in approximately 15 different countries. The proportion of cars that are exported compared to the proportion that are sold in the UK is half and half. So approximately 50% are exported. The Morgan sports car has a unique look, but it also has, I think, a unique character. And that character comes from the materials that are used in the making of the car. And it comes from the way it's built and the people who build it. Because undoubtedly, of the 100 people who build this car, they all put a little bit of themselves into the car.
Lovely cars. That was Charles Morgan at the Morgan Car Factory, where 100 people are employed making cars.
And this is a studio where 3 people are employed making programs.
And now the program is finished.
Goodbye.
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 Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today, we're going to talk about crime.
Particularly the crime of theft.
Theft. When someone steals something from you.
Something like this. A checkbook.
Or this. A wallet.
Or these. Credit cards.
This is a very dangerous station.
Is it?
Yes. Someone stole my wallet here yesterday.
Really?
Yes. I was standing right here.
What were you doing?
I was reading a newspaper. I was standing here and I was reading a newspaper. Like this. And I was eating an apple. Like this. And I was listening to a cassette. Like this.
And someone stole your wallet?
Yes. It's incredible, isn't it?
Last week, somebody stole my credit cards. It was last Tuesday. I was having lunch on my houseboat when the telephone rang.
Is there a telephone on the boat?
Yes, Natalie. So, I was having lunch when the phone rang.
He was having lunch when the phone rang. He was having lunch when. You can also say, while he was having lunch, the phone rang. While he was having lunch.
While I was having lunch, the phone rang.
So what did you do?
I answered it. I went into my bedroom and answered the telephone.
Who was it?
My mother. While I was talking to her, I heard a noise. Somebody opened the door of the boat.
Who was it?
I don't know. I said goodbye to my mother, put the phone down, and ran into the other room. Nobody was there.
Somebody opened the door. Somebody or someone. Someone opened the door. Kevin ran into the other room, but nobody was there. Nobody or no one. No one was there.
No one was there.
Perhaps it was the wind.
No, I did hear someone. And that person stole my credit cards.
Are you sure? Perhaps you lost them.
No. Someone did steal them.
How do you know?
Because the police caught the thief.
A thief. A thief is someone who steals things, who takes things. Someone who steals things from a house is called a burglar. A burglar. There was a burglar in Julia Marsh's flat last night. Or she thought there was.
Morning, Julia.
Morning, James.
Did you go to the cinema last night?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the film?
Yes, it was very good. But the strangest thing happened when I got home.
What?
Well, when I got home, I came up the stairs and started to put my key in the door.
Yes.
And I heard a noise. A noise like a computer in my flat. I thought it was a burglar.
So what did you do?
I ran into the street and phoned the police from the phone box on the corner. Well, they came very quickly. But while we were walking up the stairs, my door opened. I thought, oh no, the burglar's coming out. But it wasn't a burglar.
Who was it?
It was Carl.
Carl?
Well, you know, Carl Schiller from Munich.
Oh, Carl. Carl?
Yes.
What was he doing here?
He was waiting for me to come home. Imagine. While I was sitting in the cinema, Carl was sitting in my flat.
While Julia was sitting in the cinema, Carl was sitting in her flat. While Julia was sitting, Carl was sitting.
So, it wasn't a burglar. It was Carl. And he didn't steal anything. Has anybody ever stolen anything from you?
Yes, my family was burgled some years ago when I was living at home.
I had my bag stolen out of my car. It happened I was finishing duty and I was picking a friend up. I'd actually locked the car and left the bag in the front of the car on the floor. I was about 2 to 3 minutes, came back, the window was smashed and the bag was gone.
When I was growing up, we used to leave our bicycles in a garage that was unlocked, and people started stealing them, so we eventually had to lock up the garage.
My house was broken into by a burglar about 5 or 6 years ago, and all the electronic equipment was stolen, television and hi-fi, and also all my wife's jewellery.
Back to James and Julia. James wants to know what Carl was doing at the flat last night.
What was Carl doing here?
I told you. He was waiting for me. He wanted to talk about a new computer.
How did he get in?
The porter let him in.
Why did he do that?
He knows Carl. He came to the flat one day while he was staying in London.
Carl's been to this flat?
Yes, don't you remember?
No, you didn't tell me that.
I did tell you. I remember.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure.
Okay. Where's Carl now?
He's at his hotel.
Oh, good.
But he's coming here this morning.
Oh, good.
He wants us to work together on a new project.
Oh, good.
Kathy Ellison is a police officer in Austin, Texas. Let's find out about her job.
I've been with the Austin Police Department for 13 and a half years. Currently, I'm assigned to Crimes Against Property, the Theft Division. Theft entails several areas. We investigate white-collar crime. We investigate property crimes. We investigate anything to do with embezzlements or any kind of stolen property. We investigate all those types of crimes. When you graduate from the academy, everyone is assigned to patrol, so you have to do at least 2 years and patrol, and that's what I did. One of the things you do is you learn how to get from one place to the other quickly. You learn what your major streets are, and so you just drive around trying to find out who lives where and who knows what's going on. Every district has an area where one person knows what's going on all over. I mean, that person stays home all day, and they're just looking out, and those are the people that we look for. What most people call nosy people are our best informants, is finding out what's going on. And I think that people tend to trust people of the same race. And I found that even when I was taking police calls with another officer who was not a black officer, if the person that we were talking to were black, they would just, for some reason, turn to me and not the other officer.
All these your kids? Hey.
I get afraid a lot of the times, but one of the things that you're taught in the cadet class is if people don't see that you're frightened, and if you just do your job, and I've talked my way out of a lot of things.
Hey, y'all don't, I can't even hear myself talk. Please.
Were there any funny moments on patrol?
Several years ago, when I was working patrol in Northwest Austin, I received a call of a female who was distraught. She said that someone was in her home. I was the first officer there. I didn't know where my backup was. And she ran to the door and she goes, they're in here right now. So as we were walking through her home, it was dark, her lights weren't on, and she was behind me, you know, just stuck to me. Like, I don't know, it was just really funny. But she saying that the person was in the bedroom because that's where she saw them. And as we were walking through her apartment, the wind came through and blew a curtain right into me, and I thought there was a person that pushed that curtain, and I had my gun drawn and almost shot that curtain.
You want to sit him in your car for a second?
Sure. This is his car right here?
Yeah, that's his car. He's temporarily
Whose car?
This car?
Yeah.
Mine.
You driving it?
Yeah.
You got a license? Why not?
I ain't going to get one.
How old are you?
16.
Police work was not a goal of mine. I didn't grow up wanting to be a police officer. I didn't even decide to become a police officer until my senior year at college. But because I've worked in various assignments from recruiting to community services and the police neighborhood center and now theft, I like it a lot.
Well, I couldn't do that job.
Nor could I.
Well, that's all for now. But remember, be very careful with your wallet.
Your checkbook.
And your... and your credit cards.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Look Ahead helps prepare you for Cambridge Level 1 Key English Test, KET. Cambridge Level 2 Preliminary English Test, PET. Contact the British Council or Cambridge Examinations. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we talk about health and illness.
We look at what to say if you're feeling ill.
And how to give advice to other people when they're feeling ill.
When you're ill, you may feel pain. You may feel pain here, in your head. Ooh, I have a headache.
Or here, in your throat. I've got a sore throat.
And I've got a temperature. I've got a temperature. This is a thermometer. You use it to check your temperature. Normal body temperature is 36.9 Celsius. If it's more than that, we say, I've got a temperature.
And in the States, we often say, I have a fever.
At Julia Marsh's flat, there's someone with a very high temperature.
Good morning, Julia.
Hello, James.
Good morning, James.
Carl, what are you doing here? Aren't you going back to Germany today?
He isn't very well.
What's the matter with you?
I don't know. I have
A sore throat.
Yes, I have a sore throat and a headache. I feel off.
Have you got a temperature?
What do you mean?
Are you very hot? Do you have a high temperature?
Oh, yes, I think so.
I think you've got flu. You ought to see a doctor as soon as possible.
Here in England? I don't know.
I think you should go back to your hotel and you should call a doctor.
But I have to be back in Germany tomorrow.
Carl, you're ill. I think you ought to stay here for a few days. What do you think, James?
No, Julia. He must do what he wants to do. Carl, if I were you, I'd go home tomorrow.
I have a sore throat. I have, or I've got. I've got a sore throat.
You should call a doctor. Should. It's the right thing to do.
You ought to stay here. Ought to. It's the same as should.
If I were you, I'd go home. If I were you. Of course, James is not Carl. It's a way of giving advice. It's what James would do if he were in Carl's situation.
What would you do if someone gave you £1 million?
I'd spend it.
You'd spend it?
Yes.
I'd save it.
You'd save it?
Yes. What would you do if someone gave you £1 million?
I'd give it away.
You'd give it away?
Yes.
£1 million? I'll spend it. How much for your beans?
£1 million exactly. And I'll give it away.
Thanks. And I'll save it. Oh.
What would you do if someone gave you £1 million? What would you do if someone gave you £1 million?
I'd spend it. I would spend it. I'd spend it. What would you do if someone gave you £1 million or $1 million?
Oh, if somebody gave me $1 million, I'd contribute 1/10 to my church. I had to do that. And the rest I'd use to pay off my bills and spread around my family.
I would buy a very nice house somewhere hot and have a very large studio and a boat.
I would spend some of it right away, and I would put some away for later, and I would give some to my children for their future.
Oh, I'd pay for my wedding.
I go shopping and buy clothes.
I'd retire.
What would you do if you were ill when you were in another country? Would you go back home immediately? That's what Carl Schiller wants to do, but Julia has other ideas.
Don't argue, Carl. I'm taking you to see my doctor now.
No, I don't want to do that.
Why not? What are you worried about?
I don't like doctors.
What do you mean you don't like doctors?
Well, actually, I'm afraid of them.
What?
It's true. I'm frightened of going to the doctors.
I understand. I'm the same.
Oh, come on, both of you. Don't be so silly.
Listen, it's all right. I feel much better now. I think I should go back to Germany and have a rest for a couple of days, then I'll be fine, really.
Okay, if that's what you want to do.
Thank you for all your help, both of you. You've been very kind.
Don't mention it. I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. I'll call you next week about advertising the new computer.
Good.
Okay, I'll show you out.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Carl said he didn't want to go to the doctors, and he said it in 2 different ways.
I'm afraid of doctors. Afraid. I'm frightened of going to the doctors. Frightened.
Some people are afraid of going to the doctors, and a lot of people are very frightened of going to the dentists. Mubarak Samji is a dentist in England. Are people frightened of going to see him?
People are, even in this day and age, frightened of going to the dentist, and it is generally because they've had a bad experience in the past. Who's in the 6, 5, 4, and... If a patient turned up who was very frightened, you would have to go through the various stages. First of all, I would try doing treatment with just a local anesthetic. But because people are frightened of needles, I would ask them to take a tranquilizer by mouth, which in most cases makes them feel a little better. But you do also get patients who are beyond that, and for them they would have to have a tranquilizer administered in their vein. And you unfortunately also get the final category of patient who will need to actually be put out completely by means of a general anesthetic.
If you're frightened of going to the dentists, you should look after your teeth. What advice does Mr. Samji give about that?
The advice varies according to age group. The advice that I would give to young children is that they should not eat too many sweets, and they should regularly clean their teeth by brushing, especially last thing at night. Do you eat a lot of sweets?
Only on Saturdays.
Well, that's good. So not so many.
No.
That's ever so important. You should eat as few as possible, because it's sweets that give you holes in your teeth. All righty.
Yes.
And how about brushing? How often do you brush your teeth?
In the mornings and sometimes in the evenings.
Excellent. Brushing in the evening is ever so important. You should brush every evening before bedtime. And remember not to eat anything straight after you've brushed your teeth. All right. For adults, the main advice is on the prevention of gum disease. in addition to the prevention of decay. And it is for that reason that adults should clean carefully in between their teeth, again, especially at night. Remember about how you ought to floss to prevent gum disease.
Right.
Generally speaking, no sign of decay, so you're obviously being careful about sugars.
Trying to, yeah.
And as far as those wisdom teeth are concerned, make sure you get your brush right to the back there. Keep that gum nice and tidy.
Mubarak Samji, a very friendly dentist.
When was the last time you went to the dentist's, David?
I never go to the dentist's. My teeth are perfect. Ow!
I think you ought to see a dentist.
No, my teeth are fine.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hello. Today we look at careers.
We're going to talk about the work that people do and how long they've been doing it.
And we'll talk about people's ambitions, what they want to do and what they want to be.
Let's start with James Brady. James and Julia formed their own company 3 months ago. They've been working together since then. At the moment, James is in Manchester, on business. He's in his hotel dining room, waiting for breakfast.
Paul Cook?
Yes? Sorry, I don't...
James Brady.
Of course. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Would you like to join me?
Thank you very much.
Are you still with MAP Advertising?
No, I have my own company now. Well, I'm working with Julia Marsh.
Oh, I remember Julia. How is she?
Fine.
How long have you been working together?
For about 3 months. Since May. What about you? Are you still working for,
Art and Design?
Art and Design?
Yes, I've been working there for 10 years.
Good morning, Mr. Brady.
Good morning.
How's your suit?
Oh, it's all right now. Thank you very much.
Good.
How's your suit?
I'll explain during breakfast.
James told Paul Cook that he was working with Julia Marsh. Paul wanted to know something.
How long have you been working together? How long have you been working together?
And this is how James answered.
For 3 months, since May. For 3 months, since May.
Paul talked about his job at a company called Art and Design.
I've been working there for 10 years. He started 10 years ago. He's still working there, so he said, I've been working there for 10 years.
What kind of work do you do? And how long have you been doing it?
I'm the U.S. Customs Inspector, and I've been doing it for 20 years.
I am a dentist, and I have been doing this work for 20 years.
I go to Lake Brantley High School, and I've been going to high school for the last 3 years.
I've been working at the Morgan Motor Company, a manufacturer of cars,
for the last 6 years.
I work for the London Ambulance Service, and I've been working there for the past 4 years.
I'm a writer and a journalist, and I've been doing that for nearly 30 years.
Over here. How long have you been standing like that?
I don't know.
Well, look at your sign.
1590. 1590? I've been standing like this since 1590.
Since 1590? What about me? Can you read my sign?
1575.
1575? That means we've been like this for more than 400 years.
Let's go back to James Brady and Paul Cook at their hotel in Manchester.
So, I had my suit cleaned and got it back this morning.
I see.
What are you doing here in Manchester?
I have an interview for a job.
A job?
Yes. I've been looking for a new job for ages. I've applied for a job with a newspaper company here in Manchester.
What kind of job?
Well, they're starting a new weekly magazine for young people, and they're looking for a designer.
Have you worked on a magazine before?
No, but it's always been my ambition. Oh, I must go. I don't want to be late.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. I've been looking for a new job for ages. I've applied for a job with a newspaper company.
Have you worked on a magazine before?
No, but it's always been my ambition.
Paul has always wanted to work on a magazine. It's always been his ambition. What's your ambition, Kevin? What would you like to be?
I'd like to be a writer, a novelist.
Have you written any books?
Not yet, but I will. Do you have any secret ambitions, David?
Yes. I'd like to learn to fly. I'd like to be a pilot.
Really?
Yes.
What about you? Do you have any secret ambitions?
I've always wanted to write a successful stage play for the West End.
I'd actually like to climb Mount Everest.
I'd like to retire when I'm 55.
Secret ambitions. I'd like to write a book.
I've always wanted to play the piano.
One of my secret ambitions that has nothing to do with work is to win the Texas Championships in cycling.
The Royal College of Art in London has courses in painting, sculpture, photography, and much more. Katie Burnell is a student of ceramics. That's working with clay. Rob Gerling is studying computer design. Let's find out about their studies.
I'm studying a course called Computer-Related Design, which is a 2-year course leading to a master's degree in design. I've been studying since September 91, and hopefully I'll graduate in July this year. In short, the course is about making computers easier to use. That's my job. In our society, we're using computers more and more as a part of our work routine, and it's come down to people like me on our course to think of more interesting ways of interacting with machines, computers, more effective ways, and perhaps more imaginative ways.
I am studying for an MA in ceramics at the Royal College of Art. I've been studying for nearly 2 years now. This is my final year. The first year we do quite a lot of project work, and then throughout the summer holidays after the first year we have to write a thesis. And then in the second year we have a final exam where we have to put up a show and talk about our work for an hour. And then we have a big show where the public come to see what we've made. I'm working on a project at the moment which is basically making a large piece of sculpture. I've been working on it now since the beginning of September, and I started the project by making large collages from drawings of myself. And the sculpture is made up of a pair of arms and a pair of legs, and they're very large and curvaceous. They're going to be in very, very bright colours. And they will be set against a stripy coloured background. In the end, I will present it for my MA. It'll be part of my show. I'm presenting some sculpture, and also as a complete contrast to that, I'm presenting a range of tableware whose colours and forms will reflect the forms and colours of the sculpture. So I'm presenting two completely different things, but which relate to each other.
What are Katie and Rob's ambitions? Do they know yet?
Yes, I really would like to get my own studio, but to start with, I don't think I'll be able to afford it. So I will have to get some sort of job. Whatever it is, I may have to be a waitress or work in a bar or something to get enough money together to get my own studio. But that's what I ultimately would like, and to exhibit work in galleries and exhibitions.
I'd like to be part of a general movement, I think, to make technology a really fundamental and useful part of our daily lives. And there's a big push in computers at the moment to develop small and portable personal electronic products that will really be useful to people's lives, that they will really find and get pleasure from. Perhaps I think that people like me on my course have some of the answers to making those products more accessible, more usable, more friendly.
Well, I hope that Rob and Katie achieve their ambitions.
How long have we been working today?
Since 9 o'clock this morning.
That's 8 hours.
I think that's long enough.
So do I. Goodbye.
Bye. Hello.
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 Today we're looking at people and how to describe them.
How can we describe Kevin?
Well, he's short.
He's short and well, he isn't fat, but he isn't slim either. What can we say? He's of medium build.
Yes, short and of medium build.
Just a minute. I am not short.
Well, you certainly aren't tall.
Okay, I'm not tall, but I'm not short either. I'm of medium height.
Okay, medium height. Now, what can we say about Kevin's hair?
It's a very nice brown color.
He's got short, straight brown hair.
How would you describe yourself, Natalie?
Well, I'm quite tall, I'm slim, and I've got long curly blonde hair.
This is Kevin. He's short. He's of medium build. And his hair? He's got short, straight, brown hair. What about Natalie? Well, she's quite tall. She's slim. And she's got long, curly, blonde hair.
What do you look like? How would you describe yourself?
Physically, I am medium height, medium weight.
Brown hair and hazel eyes. And I'm 5'4" tall.
I have long brown hair and it's straight, and I have green eyes, and I'm not fat and I'm not skinny.
I've got blonde hair, my eyes are blue. I'm 5'4" and I weigh 112 pounds.
I'm short, middle-aged, a little bit overweight, but fairly happy.
How do you describe someone you don't know? Someone in a photograph, for example. Where do you think he comes from?
I think he's Italian.
How do you know?
Well, he looks Italian, doesn't he?
He could be Mexican.
He might be Brazilian or Greek.
Or Turkish.
What about his age? How old is he?
Well, he must be over 17.
Why?
He owns a car, doesn't he?
He's older than 17. He must be at least 25.
Are you sure?
Absolutely sure.
Well, he's certainly over 20.
He looks Italian.
He could be Mexican.
He might be Brazilian.
He must be over 17.
He's certainly over 20.
This is it, Shakespeare's house. This must be Shakespeare's living room.
Yes.
And that must be Shakespeare's typewriter.
No, it can't be Shakespeare's typewriter.
Why not?
Because Shakespeare didn't use a typewriter.
Didn't he?
No, he was a busy man. He probably used a word processor.
Oh. This must be Shakespeare's armchair.
And this must be Shakespeare's son. Hello, Mr. Shakespeare.
Shakespeare? What are you talking about? Get out of my house.
Well, I like Shakespeare's house, but I didn't like his son.
Let's join James Brady and Julia Marsh. They're looking for ways to advertise Carl Schiller's new educational computer.
James, you know that model agency you went to see when you were in Manchester?
Yes.
What did you tell them?
I asked them to send us photographs of children from 12 to 14 years old that we could use to advertise an educational computer.
Well, they sent photographs. But most of these aren't children, are they? I mean, look at this one.
What's the matter with him?
Well, he's too old. He must be at least 18. He could be 23.
I don't think so.
He must be. He looks like a professional footballer.
It says here he's 16.
It can't be. It must be a mistake. And look at this one.
She looks great.
Yes, she looks great, but she doesn't look like a schoolgirl, does she?
I don't know. Schoolgirls look like that these days.
She doesn't look like a schoolgirl who enjoys using a computer. She looks like a rock singer. And it says she's 14. She can't possibly be 14.
What about this one? She looks about 14. She looks intelligent. And she looks like someone who enjoys doing homework.
James.
What?
That's a photograph of me.
Who?
And is it
It says here he's 16.
He can't be 16. It must be a mistake.
He can't be 16. It isn't possible that the boy in the photograph is only 16. He looks much older. He can't be 16. It must be a mistake.
Chris Owen is a director of a model agency. It's called Elite Premier, and it's mainly for female models. The agency finds models for advertisers, magazines and fashion designers. The people at the agency who deal with the models are called bookers. What kind of models do they look for, and how do they find them?
We have quite a good scouting program, and a lot of the bookers will constantly, when they go home in the tube or if they're going away on holiday somewhere, you know, it's part of their job, and they look for a look that they think might or might not be worthwhile. This is a card that all the bookers take around with them. They keep in their handbags. So if they see a girl on the street that they think is particularly interesting, you know, they can take it out of their pocket, their purse, whatever it is, and it gives the would-be model a feeling of reasonable security, that it's a bona fide agency with pictures of girls on and a telephone number that they can call afterwards. And that's just one of the little things that we use to help us scout. And we have an open door policy. I mean, anyone wants to come in. They come in, we can assess them. They don't need an expensive portfolio. They don't need anything really but themselves and perhaps their mother or father to reassure them. And they can come in and they'll have an expert assessment, basically. I can show you a book of a very new girl to give you an idea, the sort of pictures that come just from testing. And then gradually she'll start doing shots for Looks magazine, for example, 19 young girl magazines. We look for a girl around 5'8", who's got symmetrical features, you know, nice eyes, nice mouth, and girls with great personalities as well, and, you know, good professional attitudes. They get there on time, they do their stuff, they keep they keep the client very happy, and the client books them again. That's the sort of girl you're looking for.
Nadia. They sent us an order today asking us to invoice them, so we have to send the invoice and then we have to wait for them to pay.
So all I have at the moment is the 16th to the 20th. Now I won't know until middle of next week. Okay, Andrea. Take care, bye.
If you do that one, that's for this test next weekend. She's really good. Next weekend.
This girl here, Kathy, is half Chilean and half English. And she was scouted in a shoe shop in the King's Road. She was working there. And she has a very exotic Latin look. She's a very beautiful girl. And again, has a good personality. She's got a dark coffee skin, dark hair. And she looks great with her hair up. She's a nice neck. She's a good profile. And photographers will like that. I mean, it creates a nice image. And I think that, you know, she's going to do very, very well, this girl. Very nice. This is another girl here, Joanna Rhodes, who's was discovered in a model competition with Company magazine, and she's one of the top English models. I think a lot of English models don't necessarily look English. For example, Susie Bigg. She might be Spanish, she might be Italian, she might be South American. You know, in fact, she's very English. I think that there's a great satisfaction in finding someone, grooming them, putting them on the road to success and, you know, watching them grow, not only in terms of their career, but in terms of their personality, their character. I mean, the change you see in some of the models over a 2 or 3 year period is quite astonishing. And you can get a lot of satisfaction from that, I think.
Lots of tall, slim, very beautiful women.
And that's the end of the programme.
David?
Yes?
Do you think I look like a model?
Well...
I mean, if you saw a photograph of me and you didn't know me, would you say, hey, he could be a film star?
Yes, Kevin.
Natalie?
Yes, Kevin.
Yes, I think you're right. Goodbye.
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 Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Today, somewhere to stay.
Accommodation.
Accommodation for people who are traveling.
Natalie, where do you like staying when you're travelling?
I like bed and breakfast places.
Bed and breakfast places? What are they?
They're small hotels, or even people's houses, where you often stay for just one night and have a bed and breakfast.
Oh.
Where do you like staying, Kevin?
If I can, I stay in a youth hostel.
Why?
It's a place where you can meet people. And it's a place that doesn't cost much.
Why do you like staying in a youth hostel? Why do you like staying in a youth hostel?
It's a place where you can meet people. It's a place that doesn't cost much.
Where do you like staying when you're travelling?
When I'm travelling, the accommodation I prefer is mainly bed and breakfast accommodation. I prefer that to hotels because I find hotels too formal. Bed and breakfast accommodation is more homely.
I like places that are small and have a warm family atmosphere.
I like to stay at places that are big and fancy.
I like staying in suites. And the Embassy Suites is an American phenomenon, but it's where you get a nice room and a nice bedroom suite and a small kitchenette.
Before I was married and had children, I went camping a lot. But now, if we go traveling, we'll stay in a hotel.
Yes.
Do you have a room for the night?
Yes. Come in. Here's your room.
Where's the bed?
Bed. Bed. What's a bed?
It's a thing that you sleep on.
You can sleep there.
Is there a bathroom?
A bathroom? What's a bathroom?
Well, it's a place where you can wash your hands and face.
You can wash your hands and face there.
Oh.
Well, good night then.
Good night.
Oh, if there's anything you need, a towel.
Yes.
Soap.
Yes.
Don't ask me.
Oh.
You used to work in a hotel, didn't you?
Yes, when I was a student.
What did you do?
I was a bellboy.
A bellboy?
Yes.
I used to work in a hotel as well.
Really? Were you a bellboy?
No, I worked as a receptionist.
A bellboy and a receptionist. Two people who work in a hotel. A bellboy is someone who carries your suitcases. A bellboy is someone who carries your suitcases. The receptionist is the person who gives you your key. The receptionist is the person who gives you your key. James Brady is in Manchester on business. He's staying in a hotel.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Terrible weather.
Yes.
Excuse me, but what happened to you?
A car went past and splashed me. My name is Brady, by the way. James Brady. I have a reservation.
Oh, yes, Mr. Brady. You're the person who asked about a conference room.
That's right.
Well, our small meetings room is free tomorrow.
Well, excellent. That's just what I wanted.
Good. And you're staying for 2 nights?
Yes.
Bed and breakfast only?
That's right.
Would you mind filling in this form, please?
Nope, not at all.
You can have your shirt washed here in the hotel if you like.
Can I have my suit cleaned as well?
That should be no problem. I'll give you a call in your room.
Great. Thanks.
The hotel receptionist wanted James to fill in a form. This is what she said.
Would you mind filling in this form?
Would you mind? That's a polite way of asking somebody to do something. It means, is it a problem for you to do this? And how did James answer?
No, not at all.
James said, no, not at all. That means, no, it isn't a problem. James's shirt is dirty. The receptionist offered to wash it. Well, not wash it herself, but she said that someone in the hotel would wash it.
You can have your shirt washed here in the hotel.
That was good news for James, so he asked about his suit as well.
Can I have my suit cleaned?
James doesn't want to clean the suit himself. He wants someone else to do it. So he said, "Can I have it cleaned?"
Now James is in his hotel room. He wants to have his shirt washed. He wants to have his suit cleaned. And he's hungry.
Hello, James Brady.
Reception here, Mr. Brady. It's okay, you can have your suit cleaned. It'll be ready tomorrow morning. Can you give it to the maid on your floor?
Yes, of course. That's marvellous. Thank you very much. Oh, can I have something to eat?
Yes, certainly. I'll put you through to room service.
Room service
Yes. Can I have a beef sandwich, please? And an orange juice.
Of course. It'll be about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Your food, sir.
Thank you.
Would you mind signing the bill, please?
Sorry. No, of course not. Oh. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
In the United States, there are many different places for travelers to stay. One of them is Rancho Encantado, a ranch hotel in New Mexico. The owner of the hotel is John Egan. Let's find out what Rancho Encantado has to offer.
We have 2 tennis courts at Rancho Encantado that are of a very good surface called Plexipave. And the individual that we have taking care of them, we refer to as the recreation director. We have a swimming pool which has a sun deck around it where the guests can sit back and just enjoy the beautiful sunshine of New Mexico. We have a variety of services and amenities available at Rancho Encantado. For instance, we offer a laundry service on a daily basis where the guests can have their clothing sent into town and actually cleaned and pressed, and they can get them back the same day.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson.
Hi, I'm checking out.
Certainly. Do you have your key with you?
The front desk is the nerve center of the entire operation. There is nothing that takes place on Rancho Encantado that doesn't at some point involve the front desk.
I'd be happy to explain this to you. Okay. We have 3 nights at this rate here, and this is your tax on your room. This is an implied deposit of $350 that you send in to us. I have a dinner charge, 1 evening, laundry, 2 horseback rides, and 1 massage.
Horseback riding is a very important feature of Rancho Encantado, and it's certainly one of the reasons that people come from around the country to stay at the ranch. The person in charge of our stable operation, we refer to as the head wrangler.
How you doing, son?
Wrangler, of course, is a term that is common in the Southwest, and it just means the person who takes care of the horses.
Most of our riders have never been on a horse. We're happy to take them out and give them an opportunity to see the land and the beauty of New Mexico by horseback, not by car. There are deer and squirrel and a lot of beautiful birds, and the bear and elk are primarily more in the wilderness. But from time to time, like in the fall of the year, they'll come down a little bit, so we'll catch them. 1, 2, 3, go! Hold at the knot. Okay. Take your other hand and grasp the reins together. Okay? Now slide your hand down toward the horse's neck.
I think the reason that people come to the Southwest is not only because of the scenery itself, the vast spaces and the beautiful colors of the country, but also the important history and the legends that surround the Southwest, insofar as cowboys are concerned and Indians and so on. This is a uniquely American sort of legend, but at the same time it's something that I think people throughout the world really identify with and love to be a part of.
New Mexico looks beautiful.
Fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's all for today. It's goodbye from me, from the man who used to be a bellboy, and the woman who used to be a receptionist. Goodbye.
And have a nice day.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today, entertainment.
We go to the theater.
And we talk about concerts. Jazz concerts, classical concerts, or pop concerts.
What can you see at a concert?
What can you see at a theatre? At a theatre, you can see actors and actresses acting in a play.
What about a concert hall? Well, you go to a concert hall to see musicians playing a concert. If it's a classical concert, the musicians play in an orchestra. If it's a pop concert, a rock concert, or a jazz concert, the musicians play in a band.
Kevin and I want to go to a rock concert next week. So yesterday I went to buy some tickets. There was a very long queue and I had to wait for hours. But I managed to get one.
One?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was only able to get one. I wasn't able to get a ticket for you.
Why not?
There was only one ticket left. I couldn't get any more.
She managed to get a ticket. It wasn't easy, but she managed to get a ticket. She was only able to get one. She was only able to get one ticket. She wanted to buy a ticket for Kevin, but she couldn't. She couldn't get a ticket for Kevin. She couldn't. She wasn't able to.
At last! Did you manage to get any tickets?
Yes, the last two.
Let me see. But these are for the ballet. Couldn't you get any tickets for a pop concert?
No, I couldn't. They didn't have any.
What about opera tickets?
Look, I wasn't able to get any tickets for a pop concert. I wasn't able to get any opera tickets. I was only able to get 2 ballet tickets. Okay?
No, it's not okay. I don't like ballet.
Okay. Are you happy now?
No, I'm not happy. I like classical ballet. This is modern ballet.
Julia Marsh and James Brady are working in their office and listening to some music at the same time.
Who's this?
What? Oh, the music. It's the Peter Jones Band.
Who's playing the piano?
I don't know. Here we are. It's Lola Davis. She's good, isn't she? She plays very well.
She plays beautifully.
I think they're playing in London soon. Yes, here we are. The Peter Jones Band at the Rainbow Club on the 11th and 12th. Well, when's that?
The 11th and 12th? Well, that's Friday and Saturday this week.
We could go and see them then, if you like.
Yes, let's. I won't be able to go on Saturday.
Oh. I can't go on Friday. Oh, wait a minute. They're on at the Wilton Hall on Thursday. Let's go and see them there.
Thursday? Well, that's the day after tomorrow. Will we be able to get tickets?
I don't know. I'll try and get some tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, I'm going to a concert at the Wilton Hall tonight.
James and Julia wanted to see a band at the Rainbow Club, but the dates were a problem.
I can't go on Friday.
I won't be able to go on Saturday.
Then James was worried about getting tickets for the concert at the Wilton Hall.
Will we be able to get tickets?
My sister's having a birthday party next Friday.
So?
So, I won't be able to go to the rock concert.
You won't be able to go to the rock concert. Oh, that's too bad.
You can have the ticket.
Great.
It costs £30.
Oh,
What's the matter?
I don't have any money.
It's the night of the jazz concert. Was Julia Marsh able to get the tickets?
Julia, I'm so sorry. I couldn't find a taxi.
So how did you get here?
By taxi?
I thought you said you couldn't find one.
I meant I wasn't able to find a taxi when I came out of my flat. What's the matter with you?
Nothing. Here's your ticket.
Thank you. How much did it cost?
£27.
£27 for a jazz concert?
This is the Wilton Hall. It's expensive.
But weren't there any cheaper tickets?
Yes, but I wasn't able to get any.
Why not?
Because I forgot to get them last night. Come on, we'll miss the beginning.
We'll leave James and Julia to enjoy the concert, because we're going to the theatre. Andrew Lee is the manager of the Old Vic. Let's find out what the Old Vic is.
The Old Vic is a theatre, and it's the oldest theatre in London. It was built in 1818. It was called the Old Vic because it was originally the Royal Victoria Theatre, after Queen Victoria. But popularly it became known as the Vic, and then the Old Vic. The theatre, as I've mentioned, was built in 1818, and its exterior is a Georgian exterior. The interior is largely Victorian, and in fact was completely rebuilt in 1878. Like most theatres, people sit in rows, in straight rows, facing the stage. And what we have here is the theatre divided into three levels: the stalls, the dress circle, and the upper circle. And the best seats in the house are, of course, the ones that are closest to the stage. Not the very front row, but the ones right in the middle of the stalls.
Hello.
Hello, can I help?
Yeah, do you have any tickets available for tonight's performance?
Yes, we have. Stalls or dress circle, £30 each. How many was it for?
Just two, thanks.
2 tickets. I can do 2 in the stalls, row K, 14 and 15. That's 8 rows back.
Yes, that's fine, thanks, yeah.
Right. 2 £30 tickets, that's £60. Thank you.
Thank you.
Starts 7:45 this evening.
Okay then, thanks very much. Bye.
What kind of plays can you see at London theatres?
There are about 48 major theatres in London with a broad mixture of presentations. Those theatres, between them, present anything from large-scale musicals like Les Miserables or Phantom of the Opera or Miss Saigon to small-scale plays, often new works by new writers. I think theatre styles change. We have been very influenced by television, for example, in the kind of drama we present and the way we present it. But in recent years, we've become more influenced by spectacle. And there's a tremendous move now from things like outdoor concerts, for example, and the world of rock and pop music. All of this has influenced the way we do theatre, so that there's now, at this time, an emphasis on spectacular theatre on a large scale. But given those influences, I believe that the theatre will always, live theatre will always have a place as part of our British entertainment scene.
Andrew Lee, the manager of a wonderful old London theatre, the Old Vic.
Well, I still have this ticket.
I'll have it.
I didn't know you were a rock fan.
I'm not. I'm going to give it to someone who is. Cinderella, you will be able to go to the concert.
Hey, David, that's very nice. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye.